Alright, so I'm still on Justin M. Campbell's Christian religious dating server here, his website, justinmcampbell.net, and we have answers to some common questions. Let's see if he gets it right. Wow. Wow. Okay, so these are thoughtful questions, and the questions aren't actually that long, but the answers certainly are. Do you guys have time for that? Oh, okay. Alright, so let's see. Scrolling up to the top. Answers to some common questions. I want to address a couple of things that recently have been asked or implied either in random comment sections or via email from readers. The reason I want to address these questions is that if a few people are emailing me, chances are others may be wondering as well. Frankly, this might serve as a good orientation to this blog as a whole for some of my newer readers as I start posting a bit more again. Subject 1. I've received a couple of emails asking me about marriage and why I don't talk more about being married and offer thoughts on that. There are actually several reasons for this. First, I want to say that I'm not hiding my marriage or anything like that. I'm not acting single to carry more clout with the singles, as it were. I'm very happy to be married. However, I was single until I was nearly 41 years old, and this blog started towards the end of that time. As a newly married person, I don't pretend that we have it figured out enough that we ought to be dispensing a bunch of marriage advice, but frankly, the number one reason that there are about a zillion blogs, books, seminars, conferences, sermon series, and more on marriage. Basically, every denomination, style, theological system, and church has a marriage lesson. Some of it is better than others, but the conversation is everywhere. Singleness, not so much. This leads to the subject 2. Why don't you offer more to help women, or why don't you spend more time telling women how to act, be attractive, who to date, etc.? Let me first say that I think much of what I talk about here, maybe 70% or so, is pretty much applicable to at least at some level for women as well as men. But while I have written a post or two specifically for women, it's not the focus here. Again, there are a couple of main reasons. The first should be obvious. I'm not a woman. I know what it means to be a man and what I've struggled with, felt, and experienced as a man. So it's much easier to share that. Secondly, once again, there are so many more blogs and books out there for women, written by women. A lot of what we learn in the church today is also slanted in that direction. I've tried to speak to someone, but even then, it's mostly in regards to the man experience. I believe that we need more male voices talking with men about this context. I've tried to stay mostly focused there. I'm very thankful for my female readers, and I think they add to the site and hopefully learn from it as well. But it's not the focus. Subject 3. This blog is either too Christian or not Christian enough. I've had a few people say something to the effect of, why don't you just focus on dating and the opposite sex interaction and not so much Jesus? The reason is that this site has been and always will be coming from the context of being a follower of Jesus. Now, I think a non-follower could certainly learn things here, absolutely, but I'm coming from what I hope is a historical Christian worldview that impacts everything I say. On the flip side, I get people who think I'm not Christian enough, or that get mad because I challenge what some in the church teach about singleness. While I come from the historical Christian worldview, I also want to operate in the context that we as believers are actually in. Therefore, I see nothing wrong with looking at what some secular people have to say or recognizing the culture, including singleness culture, that we currently live in. Bottom line here is that I figure if both the non-believer and the church person are a little uncomfortable, I'm probably in about the right spot. I've lived pretty much my whole life in that zone. Subject 4. Why don't you address? I've been asked for my opinion on many different things. Now and then I will give it. Anyone who knows me understands that I've got an opinion about everything. However, for just over 5 years and going on 250 posts, I've kept this site about the context of singleness and the church. Sometimes I've stretched that a little, but I've tried to keep it focused. Finally, subject 5. You didn't let my comment through moderation, or you didn't respond to my comment. Here is my comment philosophy. First, I let most comments through. I value the conversation and actually don't mind disagreement at all, but I don't allow foul language, personal attacks on me or other posters or random other people. I also won't allow what I think is a complete trolling attempt. You also need to know that if you are a new commenter, it may take a while to get moderated. I'm not constantly checking for comments. I have a job and a life. Ha ha. But I will get to it and approve it. I also don't always respond. Sometimes I just don't see how responding will help. I want to allow for different opinions and thoughts, and I don't want to always go back and forth. And then there's that whole job and life thing again. I hope this clears some things up. I also want to say that I really truly value my readers and their thoughts. I will try to respond to emails in a timely manner and want people to be able to comment here. The whole heart behind this blog was that we needed a different conversation about singleness in the church. I think we are starting to have it, so thanks for that. So guys, if you like, it looks like justinmcampbell.net. I will put his links in the description of both these videos here. Yeah, so he has some topics there at the bottom of Jesus, marriage, singleness, sex, sin, the one woman, men, Paul, relationships, attraction, Bible, dating, celibacy. So yeah, the website here is very cut and dry, Yeah, busting the myths, married and singleness together, church, growing mature, understanding attraction, money, and contacting Justin. You can contact this young man on his website. Doesn't look like he has any of his personal information for me to broadcast out there. So if you got anything from this video, comment, like, subscribe. Everyone wants to go have it. Thank you guys. Amen.